Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Mike Gormley Show. Thanks for tuning in. We're listening and I'm talking to Jack Ashton, who was a longtime promotion man, radio promoter for various labels and various artists, and knows a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I'm not
Yeah.
sure he'll talk about it, but he knows about
Well,
it.
maybe.
But we came back in with the babies, isn't it? I mean, yeah, the babies, isn't it time?
Yeah.
Did you work with them, or you just went?
Yeah. Well, you asked me earlier is about Robin Trower. The reason I put Robin in there is that I always admired him with when he had Bridge of Sighs on Chrysalis, and then I ended up being the national album director there again at Chrysalis, and so I ended up working with Robin and spending a lot of time with him on the road. And reason I put him in there, Long Misty Days was really one of his better albums from Bridge of Sighs, which was so huge, his first one. And he used to be the guitar player in Procol Harum. And he was just an amazing gentleman. And so was Jimmy Drewer, the lead singer and bass player in that band. I mean, I've traveled and been on the road with a lot of bands and a lot of groups in my time, and I put them in there because Robin was, that was a special time to be with those guys. They were not. I mean, they were the easiest people to work with, to deal with, the management and everything. It was quite an extraordinary
Who
organization.
was the most difficult to work with?
John Cougar Mellencamp.
Oh, really?
No surprise there, Mike.
Oh, I've heard. I've never met him. I
Yeah,
hear
well, yeah,
he can
well,
be a little difficult, probably.
yeah, yeah. He's a little bratty. Yeah, he's a little bratty. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I worked with him at Polygram, but yeah, he. But no, and then the babies. I literally took John Waite on the road. That was Terry Ellis's, the president of Chrysalis Records, baby, so to speak. And sorry for the pun, but and I was able to break them. And so, with the help of the national office, with a great PR team, and we just grilled it out. And then again, I'll say it again, I brought them to Detroit and I slammed it down, and they went on CKLW and WDRQ. And it was, I had all the rock stations, and it just exploded out of here.
Did you feel pressure at all? Because getting a song on in those days
Mhm.
on CKLW almost guaranteed it was going to be a hit.
Almost.
I
Hmm.
mean, because of its power, because it's
Yes.
heard so
Yeah.
much.
Hmm.
Um, did you ever think to yourself, if I don't get this on CKLW, they're gonna hate me? I mean, what
Well,
kind of
no,
pressure
because no,
happened?
I guess I just, after a period of time of working with Rosalie and spending so much time and seeing how she was always in my corner wherever I went, I felt sort of like she was like my second mother, so to speak. She really was looking out for me, and so with that, I always made sure that when I was going to present something to her, like I said earlier, I made sure that I knew that I had one for her. And so
When did you get to San Francisco? What year?
in 1975,
So
yeah,
it's still a music community then. It was still.
oh yeah, yeah, the whole scene was happening there. The Jefferson Airplane, the whole Grateful Dead. I mean, it was Haight Ashbury. I mean, when I was in town, KSAN, uh, Tom Donahue was still alive and running. He was the program director of KSAN.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how long ago that was. Yeah, it
And
was. It was quite extraordinary to be in a town with that kind of history, because the music history coming out of San Francisco, I don't want to say is equally as, that whole music scene there, getting to know Bill Graham and his whole organization, and getting to know the whole Tower Record Store chain, which is the big record store chain on the West Coast, and came out of Sacramento. And there was, that part seemed a little bit of a pressure, but I was young enough, and I just it didn't bother me. I just went out and did it again, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The exuberance of youth carries you
Yes, I mean,
through.
that there's no question that that helps a lot because, I wouldn't have been able to because the amount of artists that were living there, the people that I was representing, and dealing with Bill Graham and just everything. I mean, he literally ran the city.
Yeah, they did. It
Yeah,
was phenomenal, but they
yeah.
ran it so well. You
Oh
know,
well, yeah, but rightfully so because I mean, he owes. Bill Graham was a giant of himself as a promoter and person that ran the Fillmore West in San Francisco and the Fillmore East in New York, and he was bigger than life. People
but
loved him.
you're still active. What's
Yeah,
promotion like these days? It's not the same thing. It's a
no,
whole other
no.
approach. How did you adjust?
Well, it's been a extreme departure from where I was then, but because there's no more record stores, so to speak, not the way it used to be anyway, and or record store chains. But it's all digital. Everything's digital. Everything's computerized. It's a whole different approach. And fortunately, I've hooked up with someone in Toronto that and we've been doing quite well. Yeah, so I'm into the, streaming business. So digitally streaming now. So
But radio's still there. You still connect with radio I mean,
what
you're not going after them to break a record, but they're still there.
No, well, they're there, but they're all classic rock, and the budgets are being trimmed. The retail, I mean, ad dollars are short. I mean, I don't have to tell you. You read the trade publications and you see the cutbacks by what's going on out there, and it's very sad to see something like this falling apart.
Yeah.
I'm not happy about it, but it's the way it is. I
So
mean,
you're working, what you working some of the internet stations, or how do you work?
well, no, basically Stacy does, or the girl that I'm working with up in Toronto, she does all the heavy footwork, and then I go find the clients basically, and I bring them to her. Yeah, so it's still, in my part, from what has evolved with me is I've become more of a quarterback, where a quarterback is the guy that throws the ball down the field so you can score, right? So a quarterback oversees all assets of everything. So I'm the go-to guy if you want to get your stuff done properly. So that's why you hire me, and then with enough budget, I can put on the best people that can bring the job together, and that's what I do now. Yeah, and
Not
that's what Ashton Consulting is. Ashton
not quite as
Music
exciting and not
Consulting.
quite as hands-on, if you will. The artists, you're not dealing with them that much.
No, no, yeah, it's that. Unfortunately, those days are gone.
But we're going up to a break in a minute, but
Yeah.
we'll go back to Detroit but today, because you were managing some bands. You are um, finding talent in Detroit.
Mhm. Well, there's talent. There's always going to be talent no matter where you end up going. I mean, there's plenty of great music all over the place. And actually, there's probably more music than there ever was before. And
Mhm.
that's kind of a good thing and kind of a bad thing because there's just, it's an overabundance of too much talent out there. And it's in a very crowded world, and plus this world has gone completely pop and hip hop, and so the rock and roll of America has really slowed down the development of rock and roll.
Mhm.
I find that there's a format called active rock, which is more the heavy heavy rock stuff, which is they call it the Cookie Monster rock, where they go rah 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 rah, type of thing. So it's kind of, but I'm not in that zone. I don't do that.
All right. Well, we're gonna head out for a break, commercial break,
Right.
and listening to a Boston band, the Jay Giles Band, which was
Yeah.
a real rock band. I mean, they had certainly R&B influence, but
Mhm.
it was a strong. I'm sure they played the Grandy Ballroom more than once.
They didn't. No, they didn't play the Grandy.
Really?
Actually,
That's
no,
amazing.
they didn't. They didn't come out until afterwards.
Oh,
They might have played the East Town, which was another place after the Grandy, but they were on Atlantic Records originally, and then they ended up on
well,
EMI.
this is when you're with EMI Records, and they were,
Right,
yeah. All right.
right.
Well, we're gonna head out for a commercial. Thanks for listening, everybody. This is the Mike Gormley Show, and we'll be back soon.